Good afternoon, good evening, good morning to all my writers and weirdos out there. Today is Monday, Manic Monday, May 26, 2025. I am KibbyRose. I'm AuthorTube's lesbian psychic stoner, and I'm here to entertain you, help you get a little bit of productivity in, and maybe fill you in on some current events that are going on. So let me roll the intro, and we'll get on with our little stream here. If I can figure out which button to push. All right, so a couple things to get out of the way real quick first. Number one, thank you, or hello, and welcome to all the new subscribers that added themselves since last Friday. It's good to see you. Welcome to our little community here. Go ahead and remember to hit those like buttons, and also thank you to the replay crew or to the new subscribers. I have watched my numbers going up on the back end. Somebody's enjoying my videos, and I love it. So I just wanted to say thank you, and I'm appreciative of it. And for anybody who is new here, please remember to hit that subscribe button, because we are trying to hit a goal of 500 subs before the end of the year, or as soon as possible, because as soon as we hit 500 subs, we can do super chats. I can do readings for all the new people, and yeah, it's just a lot easier than doing the outside payways. And yeah, the more we can support YouTube, the better off as small creators are. Anyway, so I am here to work on I'm still trekking along on my regular projects, but I have a lot of fun stuff to fill in from this weekend. Also, happy Memorial Day to all of my veterans out there. My grandfather is a veteran. I come from a family of all military and yeah, Navy hoorah type people. So love for all the veterans out there. Happy Memorial Day to all of you who are out there celebrating, having barbecues and everything else. Did I go to a barbecue? No. Did I really want to? Not really. I rather enjoyed, we just hung out at the house. My grandfather and my mom and I played Monopoly yesterday, had family time yesterday. So honestly, I was just been trekking along, getting work done today, and only remembered it was Veterans Day because, you know, YouTube's. So I just wanted to add that in, because to me, it's just a normal Monday. We had our celebration yesterday. So let me pop into the comments here real quick, and then I'm going to go over what I have current event rants about and catch up on predictions. We'll be in and out. Yep, it's Cora just letting us know her normal, coming in and out and everything else. So thank you for coming in, Cora. I love it. So I have quite a few things, some predictions that have come together. I have to give some shout outs to some people and give them props and maybe push them and urge them to keep going. We are going to cover everything from Harry Potter. Yeah, well, there's a lot. Harry Potter. Yes. Can you tell I'm in magical realm a little bit? Yes. Did I do a client reading before live stream? Yes. Is my head still out of it a little bit? Yes. Sorry. Harry and Meghan. Okay. Because there's a connection now here where Harry and Meghan are now connected to the whole Blake Lively and Taylor Swift situation, and it's because of a lovely little snake called Kim Kardashian. And I have a couple predictions that are coming in regards to that whole situation. I have to give a shout out to Brett Cooper, because girl, you figured it out. I have a couple more. If you are listening to me and are watching me, I've got a couple more hints for you, and maybe to help you dive in a little bit deeper to even more stuff. Real quick, though, my heart does go out to both the people in Liverpool, England. A situation happened during a parade today that, yeah, my heart just goes out to them. And then to the people in North Carolina as well, because there was an incident that happened this morning. And yeah, so my heart just goes out to those two communities right now because they're struggling and they're suffering. So just know that there's some energy being sent your way to help alleviate things. I've got some information about McDonald's and why all of a sudden they're starting to leave some of the big cities, you guys. I also have an explanation. If you haven't noticed it today, if your Wi-Fi is driving you crazy or your electronics are going a little nuts, there is some major stuff going on in regards to solar flares. I haven't really brought it up lately because yes, we've had some events, but not anything real like significant where my angels were like bringing in information. There's something about this next one where we need to pay attention to what's going on, very much so, because there's something about this next solar flare event that's going to be causing issues with earthquakes. So I have information about that. Then I've got more information about Kohlberger and how Dateline kind of confirmed my predictions without even realizing it. We've got The View, where my prediction is coming true with the View ladies and what's going on with them. I've got some information in regards to the cannabis issues and what's going on in regards to that getting legalized. And then I've got some Crossfire Hurricane predictions and the Big Beautiful Bill predictions coming in. So I've got a lot of predictions to fill us up in. This always happens on Monday because what happens during the weekend? What? We watch a bunch of YouTubes, we get a bunch of information, and we have to line it up and somehow squeeze it all into one day. So on that note, though, we are still doing our sprints. We are still doing our normal work stuff. But I'm going to be working on the picture project. So there's a lot going on behind the scenes. I've gotten a lot. I cannot tell you guys what happened with this sun shift. There is like extra mental amount of energy behind me in regards to work. I have pre-recorded I think it was 16 reaction videos that I'm going to react to. I've already completed 2 reaction videos on my own. Cora and I have already completed 2 reaction videos. I have editing of those to do. I've already finished I started on season 2, episode 4 of the picture collection. I'm on season 2, episode 3 of the picture video that I'm about to complete. That's what I'm working on today, is I'm doing all of the tiles. And if I finish the tiles for 348 pictures, which I don't think I'm going to do in this live stream, I'm going to be working on transitions next. But I am trying to I have a certain goal of videos to get completed by the end of June. And truthfully, guys, with the way things are going, I might actually have to add to my goal, because I might be checking off those check marks a lot sooner than I expected to. And I'm super happy about it. So on that note, we're going to jump into a 10-minute sprint. And yep, we're going to shift this. Bam. Here's our little timer. We've got our timer up. Everything else. Okay, I need to shift this around so it looks a bit better. All right, so we've got 10 minutes on the clock for our first sprint. So I will see you guys in 10 minutes. And when we get back, I am going to be talking about my predictions in regards to Meghan Markle, Taylor Swift, Kim Kardashian, and the Blake Lively situation. Okay, 3, 2, 1, and sprint. And don't forget to mute yourself. Oh, Amy, before I forget, because I always forget. Come on, turn. Armin van Buuren live, our list, because the playlist, for any of you who are interested, the music I mentioned is on a public playlist, also on my YouTube channel. Amy and I decided that this was probably the best way to do it. So the video I mentioned is on that playlist, and it's probably on the timestamp that I started from. So Armin van Buuren live at Ultra Music Festival, Miami, 2019, and I'm at timestamp 7 minutes exactly. So I'll see you all in 9 minutes and 23 seconds now. And we are done with that sprint. Yes, we are. Okay, so real quick, I'm going to move some stuff around so that we have it set for our next sprint. And then we're going to go like this. All right, so I am going to go over a couple of things here. That we're going to move because that we've already talked about, but I want that for later. All righty, so when it comes to future predictions between things, first of all, let me know how you're doing. If you've done any work, if you've gotten any work done, hop into the comments. Let me know what you've done. I was able to get, let me look here. How many pictures is this? Like this. Give me a count. Just give me a count. 24 items done in that sprint. And that is, if I can figure out how to do this, there we go. And that is getting the titles or the titles done on the pictures for the project. So that's what I was able to get done in that 10 minutes, which is a good starting number. So I'm going to remember that. If I can do 24 in 10 minutes, I should be able to do double that in 20, right? Anyway, oh, hi, GoldenEye. Blessings to you too, my dear. It's good to see you again. You got 1 minute of video editing done. Depending on how much there is to talk about, I could see, or how much editing there is in that 1 minute. Yes, I can see why that would take 10 minutes. That reminds me of editing our videos. Sorry, I don't know. It just flashed in my head of editing our videos and how, yeah. Anyway, it's quite fun, isn't it? Editing videos. You never know how much time it's going to take. Anyway, so on to predictions that I'm having. Okay, so I was listening to YouTubes this weekend, and it's kind of funny because there was 2 different YouTubes that came in, and my angels were kind of like, when it happened, my angels were like, "There's a connection here. You're not saying it," and I was like, "Okay." So the first video that came in was a video about how Meghan Markle is in trouble again with the Netflix head because they started filming for quote unquote part 2 of the Netflix edition. And the problem that they're finding out is when they did the screening to the next crew of people, they found that there was a lot of copying going on. Particularly one name that was mentioned was that she seemed to be copying the Kardashians. The next video that pops on my feed is about how Taylor Swift's finally the deposition for Taylor Swift was pulled. Evidently, I don't know, I doubt she listened to me. It's probably not me, but she listened to some advice, and I hear that her father kind of jumped in on for her, that she ended up giving Baldoni's team everything that he needed. All the information he needed, whatever they asked for, he just handed it over, which is what I said that she was going to do if she wanted to avoid the downfall of this entire situation. Because from what I saw, Blake Lively had no problem literally exposing everything about Taylor Swift in order to basically either save face, confuse, cause distraction, whatever else. Basically, Blake Lively was at the point where it was like, well, if I'm going to go down, I'm going to take you down too. And you don't mess with Taylor Swift. I'm just going to say it. I'm not a Swiftie, trust me, far from it. I do love a couple of her songs, but I'm not like stand for her. However, this is something that I've been watching since the beginning, where I told her from day one, Taylor, you better be careful, because this could end up, really, honestly, it could have ended up ruining her. So I'm really happy that her father jumped in. However, they're referencing that at the same time, they're like, right. So these 2 videos finished, and I'm thinking in my head, oh, so grateful that she has a father that somewhat, takes a bigger perspective, maybe has takes an outside perspective of things and sees the bigger picture. And maybe saw Blake for exactly who she is, because honestly, if you're not within the sweltering, loving effect of Blake's energy, you can see right past it and see exactly what she does to other people. So right after both these videos plays, my angels came in and they're like, you're not seeing the common denominator here. And so I decided, had a little conversation with my angels, and they're bringing in that Kim Kardashian is going to be exposed in a very, the Kardashian family is going to be exposed in a lot of different aspects of things and this is where it kind of bubbled with me, where they're like, it's even going to extend to a certain Tootsie Roll type person, that yes, that is what we're going to call him and reference him from now on. And if you don't know who I'm talking about in regards to Tootsie Roll, there's somebody who's facing a very big federal indictment, who that was actually one of the things that I knew from my sources that confirmed that they were talking about who and experienced what they went through. Yes, GoldenEye, that is exactly who I'm talking about. So there's going to be an underlying connection here, because, and then we're going to bring this in too, because Brett Cooper is figuring it out. She is figuring it out, and I'm so proud of this young lady. First of all, congratulations, Brett, on your pregnancy. I'm so happy for you. You're going to be a mom, and you are going to be an amazing mom, and I already know it. Second of all, she figured out who CD is. So if you don't watch Brett Cooper's channel, you need to go watch her channel, because she figured out who CD is. I'm still not going to say the name. I'm too small of a channel. I know what they're capable of. However, there's a connection here where the CD is connected to an LT, and LT is connected to a Britney Spears and a certain Tootsie Roll. And this is going to, if she can expose this triangle, she is literally going to expose the exact control that Hollywood used in order to manipulate exactly who they wanted to be famous. And we might get vindication for people like Brittany Murphy, all the way down to Marilyn Monroe, you guys. Tyler Perry. There's so many people on the other side who have, I've said this since day one. I have said this since day one. Not only in real life do I know people that have been through this, but I swear I had been working with people on the other side who were part of this industry that suffered because of all the stuff that happened. And Diddy is, and sorry, oh, I said it, Tootsie Roll is being used as the scapegoat, kind of. But here's the thing that I've been saying since the beginning of the year. The scapegoat usually works normally. 40, 30, 20 years ago, even the scapegoat, sweeping it under a rug, getting somebody else to fall for it, worked. Aquarius moved in to Pluto. If you're all wondering why this happened, go watch some of my earlier videos. I talk about this. Pluto shifted into Aquarius. There is no way that you can't, the rug is gone. The F arounding and having somebody else take the fall for it is over. Karma, the karmic hammer is coming down so freaking hard this year that this is just the start of it. And I really hope Brett Cooper keeps going, because she's big enough to be able to expose this kind of stuff without facing the repercussions that most people would, because she is so, not only is she so far detached from that whole society of it, but she's too much in the public eye. So I'm loving so if Brett Cooper if she figured out who CD is, which she did, she can figure out who LT is. She can figure out why Britney Spears might have said in her speech to the court what she said, and specifically used the HT terminology. Okay. So, and why Britney Spears might have been, truthfully, the next Brittany Murphy if they hadn't saved her, if the public hadn't spoken out and saved her. So that's kind of what I'm seeing, is that there's going, and here's another thing. There might be a reason why Kim Kardashian actually went into law. And it might not be for the good of most people. It might actually be to help maneuver things, because what better way to maneuver things than to maneuver them legally through loopholes that you've learned because you're a lawyer and you know the industry because you were brought up in it. Just saying. Anyway, also might have been another reason why it took her a couple tries to pass the bar. Anyway, but you know, with the whole Girardi case that's going on, and the whole Murdaugh case that went on, and now the exposure of how just corrupt the police department might be in the Idaho situations with both Karen Reed and Kohlberger, yeah, there's a lot of stuff that's going to come to light where it might not just have been a politics that are all messy and screwy and everything else. So I saw Golden Eye coming in with all these comments, and I'm going to pop this up here, and we're going to have the comment thing come up. I'm going to trust you guys, I hope. Please be good in the comments, because if not, I got to take it off the channel, and my channel don't need to be striked for you all. So if Cora, you're watching, we might, yeah. Anyway, I'm here vibing. I did some schoolwork. Yeah, started today, but fully enjoying this holiday. Very nice. Well, you should be enjoying the holiday. Found your channel in my newsfeed, so I figured I'd check out. Well, hello, Fizzle Productions. It's nice to see you here. Well, Fizzle Productions. Yeah. If you're like me, yeah, we're all productions. If we have a YouTube channel, we're everything, aren't we? Megan is going to be a flop divorce coming soon. Here's the thing. Okay, there's not going to be a divorce, and I see that this is something that I haven't brought up yet, because there's certain things that I don't bring up yet, but you brought it up, so I'll bring it up. My sources, my angels, tell me there's not going to be a divorce, and here's why. Truthfully, Megan and Harry are perfect for each other. I think that's the hardest part for people to really, really grasp and accept, is they really are two peas in a pod. They really are perfect for each other. They're not getting divorced anytime soon. Will they probably lose everything first? Yes. Is it going to be exposed that Megan is the big fat liar that we all knew her to be growing up? Because hello, yeah, honey, face the facts of where you actually grew up, please. I wish I had my old yearbooks. Anyway, there's a lot of stuff that's happening that's going to go on, but no, Harry and Meghan are going to go down together, and and here's the funny thing is they are going to go down together, literally, like thinking that they're king and queen while they're spinning down in the toilet. Truthfully, Meghan is giving Harry the strength to do exactly what he wanted to do. Now, from what I also understand from a lot of my meditations and speaking to, again, guys, I'm 70-30. I don't fully believe that I actually talk to these people. Okay. But a lot of stuff lines up and I'm not necessarily wrong. So, I tend to go with it. Anyway, from when I talked to the Queen and Diane on the other side, they basically told me that Meghan Markle had made a promise to them that she would be the good wife. She would follow in Diana's footsteps. They would do humanitarian work. It would be about being good, solid parents to their kids. And from what I can see, it was supposed to be out of the limelight. Meghan Markle supposedly was done with being famous. Now, if I had spoken to Diana before she passed, like if I had spoken to these two before they had spoken to Meghan, I would have told them, no, she's been lying since she was 10 years old. Like, this girl is literally a pathological liar. She can't even accept her own reality when she was a kid. We all knew it growing up that she was going to be one of those that figured out some way how to be famous, and that was literally going to be the downfall of her life. Unfortunately, she's following exactly in the predictions that I've made for her since I met her way back when. And I think that's probably the hardest part of this. And I kind of stand with Catherine and William when they say, look, we're going to have to disown them both. Like, the truth is they would be more than happy to accept Harry back into the family and reconcile. But Meghan, they don't understand that Meghan isn't the problem. She's just the voice that's strong enough, that's loud enough to throw the temper tantrum that Harry ultimately is throwing. And that's just from... And it's hard to see. If your eyes are open, you can see it. I don't know what that was about. Tootsie has too much info on too many Hebrew. No, he doesn't. That's the problem, honey. He really, the proof is in the pudding, as I'm going to put it this way. He really thought the reason that he went to battle with the feds is he really thought people were going to come out of the woodwork and stand up for him and vouch for him. No, they're not. They're not, because the truth is that they were all there. The truth is when this all comes down to it, you have no idea how many people are connected to Epstein and all that crap that are also connected to this. Trust me, after spending 20 years in Hollywood and all that scene, we're not going to go into it, but there's a lot of stuff that happens. I feel the karma, yes, because she's not smart. You are safe. Oh, thanks. She's not done with the limelight. The limelight will be done with her. Exactly. And that's it's the karmic hammer. you can how do I put it? When you chase success and fame like she does, and you get that high, there's only inevitably one way to go. Because the truth is you didn't build the mountain that supports you. You've built a roller coaster. And that's ultimately what's going to happen, is what goes up must come down. Slow and steady is the best pace, because if you're doing slow and steady, you're actually building your own mountain. You're actually climbing the mountain versus just, creating a roller coaster on the side of it that inevitably is going to fall off. Anyway, so there's a lot going on that, and this all has to do with Aquarius's shift into Pluto. And guys, this is 10 years. Pluto sits in Aquarius for the next 10 years. This shift happened in January. So if you can imagine just how much has this been exposed in the last 5 months since Pluto's shift, can you imagine what's going to happen in the next 10 years? Anyway, we're going to jump into another sprint because we are here to sprint, and I've been rambling for a little bit. So we're going to put 20 minutes on the clock. What do I see for you? I don't do psychic readings today, hun. I do them on Friday though. Or if you do want a reading separately, go to my email, kibbyroseland@gmail.com, and we can talk, we can chat, or find me on Facebook, message me through Facebook Messenger, and just put future client in big bold letters, because I get a lot of scam messages. So I want a reading, somehow identify it. So when I look at it, I don't think it's just some random guy trying to hit on me, which I'm a lesbian. Guys, stop trying to hit on me, please. I don't like men. And you can blame Tony Lamara for ruining that. Anyway, I will see you all in 20 minutes, because we got 20 minutes on the clock. All right. In 3, 2, 1. that is the end of that sprint. All right. So how did we all do? Did we get work done? Is there any work you got done? I got 47 tiles named, which that is pretty much double what, pretty much double what I said I was going to do. So I did reach my goal, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I don't know. Anyway, got 1 minute of editing, and I fought with my toddler over headphones. Plus, I grabbed some food. Very nice. Very nice. Fighting with the toddler, I can imagine took quite some time. But I know you and eating, so you're probably sitting and eating while you're listening to me. So I'm glad you were able to get some work done, though. We're going to just jump right into our Spitfire stuff because the couple more rants and predictions that are coming up. So where do we want to start? We'll start with this. So for those of you who haven't been listening along or haven't been watching, there's 2 trials that are currently going on in Idaho. One of them is the Karen Reed case, and one of them is the Ryan Kohlberger case. I have been watching these 2 cases because there is something about this where from day one, my angels have been like, there's something going on with the police department. And it's not just the police department. Like it's the whole judicial structure in Idaho. Like they're all corrupt is basically what I keep being told. I was shocked and beholden to find out that this weekend when they were, let me strike that. Let me rewind a little bit. The Karen Reed trial is already in progress. Actually, the Karen Reed trial is being retried because of, let's just say I was right when I said there was a lot of corruptness going on in the police department, and it was exposed in the Karen Reed trial. Now, Kohlberger, it hasn't even started. They actually haven't even started choosing jury selection yet. They actually are in the middle of stuff because of the fact that they moved the trial from upper Idaho to lower Idaho, basically to try to get a bigger jury pool because Idaho's not that big of. I'll admit, I live in Washington State, right next to Idaho. It's not that big. It's really not that big. There's not that many people there. So finding a jury pool that is not tainted, especially with how extreme both these situations were, is going to be difficult. This weekend, after the Kohlberger trial shut down for the weekend, Dateline decided to release a documentary stating that they have interviewed over 300 different witnesses to this case. Now, here's the thing about Dateline's comment. Dateline interviewed sources from the police department. There's a second book that's coming out. That's where the 300 sources were. So there's 2 sources that are about to be released. The book is going to be released August 24th, I believe it's when it's supposed to be released. And then the Dateline episode was actually released this weekend. The Dateline, both cases, they've interviewed witnesses from this case. Well, there's been a dissemination order, which means a no talkie to anybody order covering this entire case and everybody in it since the beginning of it. The fact that evidently people of the police department have been interviewed by both Dateline and given video evidence and photo evidence that has yet to be released to the public. And it was all revealed in this Dateline episode. As a prosecutor, I don't know how you could screw up your case even more. So it's very interesting to me because from the very beginning, I said that both these cases, by the end of it, we're going to have the entire federal government checking out what is going on in regards to the Kohlberger or like the Idaho Police Department. And from what I'm hearing is they're going to find just how corrupt the Idaho Police Department is, as there's going to be a figure 8 effect where it's going to filter down into the other courts. Like, I don't know, the Bar Association is now going to get looked at, especially with the way the Girardi cases came out and like the attorney for the Girardi attorney and the Murdaugh attorney. There's going to be a lot going on here where it's not just the federal government or the FBI that is going to get cleaned up and cleaned out. From what I'm seeing and hearing, there's going to be a lot of states, especially Democratic states, where by the end of probably not this year, but next year, there's going to be a filter down effect where there's going to be a lot of corruption that's exposed through a lot of police departments, and there's going to be a lot of fixing. Yeah, so we'll have to see where things go with that. On the next note, I thought this was funny because this is actually just something I predicted that I giggled about when I heard that it happened. So evidently the View ladies got a little disciplined by Bob Iger this time. And what's even funnier is that the View ladies have literally, instead of, they're getting chance after chance after chance of like, hey, stop, shut your mouth, curb it. Like, even if you don't want to shut your mouth all the way, like, curb it. Like, you don't have to be so massively opinionated. However, this time they actually Bob Iger has literally told them to stop, to the point that he actually met with Trump regarding Disney Dubai and that whole situation that's going on over there. And it seems that Bob Iger might be not necessarily turning to the dark side, as the Democrats would call it, but maybe reevaluating just how much political aspects are involved in keeping business and keeping customers and keeping clients. And I see that there's going to be a huge shift in regards to because here's the thing that I'm trying to say. The ladies on The View don't honestly think that they're going to get fired. They don't think they can get fired. They don't think there's any way or any level of power on this planet that can fire them. However, from what I'm seeing, that's exactly what's going to happen. They're going to get fired. They're going, and not only that, but when they turn around and are like, well, fine, we'll just go get jobs other places, they're going to find that there's not many options available for them. The problem is there's a big difference between confidence and cocky. And I've told many of my clients this. If any of you watch me on the regular, you know, I've said it over and over again. There's a fine line between confidence and cocky. And the View ladies are definitely, they're on the cocky side. If you ever wondered what's that fine line, a year ago, they were on the confident side. 2 years ago. Correction. My angels just threw that in. Correction. 2 years ago, they were on the confident side. They have switched to the cocky side. And there's nothing wrong with having your opinion. And there's nothing wrong with having a differing opinion. It's the way that you have to lunge at people across the table because you don't want to hear their opinion that's the problem. So as far as I can see, the View ladies are literally by the end of this year going to try to shift gears. They're going to try to go a different direction, either podcast or something else. What they're going to find out is A, the audience isn't there, and B, nobody wants to help them out. When you cry a wolf too many times, nobody's come and help you when the wolf is actually attacking. And I think the View ladies are going to find out exactly what that feels like by the end of the year. The other thing I wanted to bring up is this is just something that it caught on my radar, and I'm trying to ignore it, but I'm going to state it now because this is one of those things where I think this is going to turn into something bigger than what is just currently happening. And they're telling me that it's not just happening with McDonald's. Okay. So if you didn't know, evidently McDonald's restaurants are starting to get kind of like overrun by youth after schools. They've started using local McDonald's as local hangouts. Is this anything new? No. Growing up, we had Graziano's and McDonald's and Starbucks, and I mean Graziano's was kind of our hangout if you went to Rancho Bernardo High, but I think every high school kind of has that hangout, that pizza, like that local restaurant or whatever where the kids hang out. Well, evidently McDonald's in the Chicago area, are starting to shut down their McDonald's because they're getting so many problems with the youth literally coming in and just trashing, not buying anything, just hanging out and trashing the place. New York has now started requiring 18 and only to enter the restaurant. If you are not 18 or older, you're more than welcome to come and do the pickup and grab food, but you're not allowed to hang out in their restaurant anymore. And you have to actually show ID in order to get in to the restaurants now in New York. This is just something I noticed about, things. And in my personal experience in San Diego, McDonald's really started having this locked door policy, and they really put it into effect after COVID, where after like 10 o'clock at night, you can't go into one of these 24-hour McDonald's restaurants in San Diego. And that was just something I noticed back in like 2020, 2000, or when did I leave San Diego? 2017, 2018. And I just wanted to throw this in there because there's something that my angels are bringing up where this is actually going to be something that starts taking effect, where fast food restaurants are no longer going to be for kids. Like they've already started by getting rid of the play centers in most of the restaurants. Like if all of us growing up, if you're my age and around your 40s, you remember like Carl's Jr., McDonald's, Jack in the Box, Burger King, everybody had a play center. Like you determined where you went to get food based on who had the better play center. Then around the 1990s, they started removing all the play centers from all of the restaurants, fast food restaurants, where I grew up anyway, in San Diego. And nowadays, I find it actually very rare to find a play center at a McDonald's or something like that. And from what I'm seeing now, it's going to go up a level where it's 18 or older if you want to dine in. If you want to get McDonald's for your kids, you can grab it and take it home. And I don't know if that has to do with cost. I don't know if that has to do with political environment. I don't know if that just has to do with our youth has gotten so out of control that nobody wants them hanging out in the restaurants anymore. But I think it's very clear to me that there's something going on in regards to how these fast food restaurants seem to be shifting not only their market, but who they're like the availability for their customers. So we'll have to keep our eye out on that and see where that leads to. But there's something about this where, McDonald's might be looked at as kind of like more of a like Red Robin, Olive Garden type level. Like it might be the end of fast food industries, guys. We might not have that middle ground anymore unless it's like a taco shop or, like Wiener Schnitzel or, maybe Sonic can fill it up. I don't know. But there's something going on here where we're going to have a hole in the market when it comes to like fast food. But truthfully, I don't know many people that eat that much fast food anyway. It's probably been a good year since I've been to McDonald's. And honestly, if I go get fast food, I'm a Wendy's girl. I'm an absolute Wendy's girl. You will find me at Wendy's before you find me at any other fast food restaurant. So, so what did you say about you saying the Lilo and Stitch being Disney's saving grace? It made over $340 million. Yep. And I told you, I said they were going to Lilo and Stitch. I saw. That's cool. Well, that's another prediction that came true because I said that I saw Lilo and Stitch surprisingly being their saving grace. And they're going to be able to recoup losses because Freaky Friday, I believe with Lindsay Lohan, I think it is coming out at the end of the year. And then there's one other one that's going to be, basically they're going to be able to recoup whatever they lost from Snow White. It's going to be, I don't see them making a profit. It's literally going to be like, well, that saved our asses. Let's not ever do a Snow White type thing again. Deal. Got it. Okay. And with the way she's getting just sandblasted with Evita now, and how she treated the people on Broadway. And I said, and I predicted that too. I thought it was comical that Rachel Zegler, with her attitude and her ego, was going to try to go to Broadway, because I was like, if there's anybody who's going to expose you for being egotistical, like the last people that are going to deal with that is Broadway. Like straight up, with the hours they work and how much talent they have and how hard it is to do what they do. I'm sorry, but the last people that are going to put up with your ego is Broadway. New York, they don't. You can get a lot. That's one thing I learned about East Coast, West Coast. You can get a lot away with a lot of fakery and BS on the West Coast. You can't get away with that on the East Coast. No, they don't. So, favorite menu item from Wendy's? Their French fries. I am literally one of those girls that will get a chocolate frosty and French fries and just go to town. If I have to choose, there's two burgers. I love the Dave's Classic. Honestly, love the Dave's Classic. No onions, no pickle, no mustard. And then the bacon ranch chicken sandwich. It depends on my mood. If I'm in a mood for beef, I get Dave's with bacon. If I'm in the mood for chicken, I get the Bacon Ranch chicken sandwich. And their curly fries. Anyway, now I'm hungry. Now I want food. And I already ate. Come on. No, I'm just kidding. All right, but we are going to jump into another 20-minute sprint here. So 20 minutes on the clock because I'm going to jump out and get a refill on my coffee because I need it, and probably use the potty real quick, but I will be back. So 20 minutes on the clock, and I will see you all in 20 minutes. All right, in 3, 2, oh wait, sorry, correction, haha, I'm just joking. I was just testing all of you. The Bacon Ranch also, yeah. It's one of their best sellers, so I'm not surprised. Except when they slather on too much ranch. I'm like, oh. Another big difference between East Coast, West Coast. Anyway, East Coast, they barely give you any of the ranch. Like, you have to ask for a side of ranch. On the West Coast, it's like they dip the whole patty in ranch or something. I don't know. Anyway, in 20 minutes, I will see you all. All right, 3, 2, 1, and sprint. And don't forget. So I was able to get 20 items done. Not as many as I got done the first time, but Murphy's Law kind of hit while I was trying to get coffee, from everything from like, oh yeah, I need to put water in the coffee maker, to, oh yeah, my creamer's upstairs, to, yeah, I forgot to refill the fridge. Yeah, so it took me a little bit longer to get a cup of coffee than normal. But mission accomplished. So I only had 10 minutes technically to work, and I was able to get 12 items done, which is my shortest count yet, but we're just going to leave it alone, right? So how did you all do? If you were doing work, pop it in the comments. We'll go ahead and give you props and praise for what you've done. If not, then I'm just going to go into some other rants, because we got 3 more things to cover, a couple more if I have time. Solar flares, Kamala Harris, and Jojo Siwa is what we're going to cover. So on that note, solar flares. So if you don't watch, or if you don't pay attention, or if you've noticed today, if you do pay attention, machines and electronics have kind of been frustrating. Wi-Fi's have been frustrating. If you have an electronic car, I wouldn't be surprised if you were your battery drained real fast today. Batteries are draining real fast. Energy is being used. Why? Because guys, we had another huge solar flare. I've mentioned him before, and I'll mention him again. Stefan Barnes, he has a channel where he discusses all of the solar storms and solar flares that go off. We have a rather big eruption that just occurred. The isotope range is rather high in regards to what is about to bombard a planet. And we're about to face another rotation that is putting the massive coronal hole back in Earth's facing view. My angels are warning that my angels are warning that this is what we've been warning about. There's something about this next rotation where the flare that's going to pop off inevitably soon is going to match up with the flare that's with the isotope range or the isotope situation that we currently have happening. And we've already started seeing the reverberation effects of these energy changes through the earth with earthquakes and volcanoes that are going off around the world. My angels are referencing that the big one is coming with this next solar eruption flare. Kilauea has already gone off. Switzerland is already dealing with an entire mountain that's collapsing in the Swiss Alps. Santorini has ticked up again to over 70,000 earthquakes under the volcano in Santorini. There is over, I think it was 120,000 active earthquakes going off in the Cascadia fault zone. There's many warnings going off with scientists right now in regards to a 9-pointer possibly happening in the Cascadia zone very soon. Are we due for one? Yes. Are we massively overdue for one? Yes. Is the fact that they are discovering new fault lines a good thing or a bad thing? A lot of these scientists are very excited about the fact that they're finding all these new fault lines down in San Andreas and everything else. However, I'm also kind of, my whole thing is like, my angels are like, why aren't they seeing this as a warning? Like, if you're seeing fault lines for the first time, that's probably not a good thing in regards to being able to see fault lines for the first time. There's probably a reason for that. I think excitement is construing factual evidence when it comes to a lot of these scientists. There's a lot of things that are going on seismically, geologically, that haven't happened for quite some time. The Earth has been very quiet for a little while, and we've had a lot of movement since the whole Tonga event in 2022. So for all of you that are wondering, just be prepared. We might have a big 9.0 earthquake go off. It's either going, my angels keep telling me it's going to be on the opposite side of the planet from Santorini. The movements in Santorini are like what's going on with Santorini and all that stuff is just like what's happening under the surface is just moving up to the top. But that doesn't mean that it's going to happen there. It means that there's movement underneath the ground, and They're referencing it's going to reverberate to the other side, which is kind of the Alaska Cascadia zone area, which is the only reason why I bring this up. I don't know if it's true or not. My angels, whenever I check in, like, I'm kind of over here in Washington. Should I be worried? My angels just keep telling me, nah, you might end, worst case scenario, you'll end up with beachfront property. Not necessarily a good thing, since I'm kind of over near Spokane, closer to Idaho than necessarily Seattle area. So, but there is something big. So if you've been fighting with your electronics today, there's a reason why. There's some major electronic energy fields going off with the earth right now. And just like I pre-warned Cora, and she believed me with the snowstorms, if you're near the coast, just kind of have that emergency kit and stuff and everything else prepped and ready to go. Have your evacuation plans, know where you're going to go and what you're going to do. Personally, if I lived in Seattle or on the West Coast, I would kind of just go to Florida for the next month and just kind of hang out there, vacation for a little while, see what happens. Surprisingly, I'm hearing that it's going to happen more on the West. It's the ring of fire, guys. That's what they keep showing me is what's going to move. It's like going to turn. It's going to rotate. Like the whole ring of fire is just going to go, and that's what's going to cause everything. So yes, there's going to be problems in the Atlantic when it comes to like tsunamis and the wave ocean current moving and whatever else. But yeah. If there's going to be any major effects or major catastrophes, I'm hearing that's going to happen more on the West Coast than the East Coast. On that note, though, they are bringing in that hurricane season has definitely not been what we predicted at the beginning of the year. So we do need to correct that. However, we weren't wrong when it came to the level of storms that are going to, the storms are going to be increased. Maybe not in, I thought they meant like in numbers. I didn't realize that they meant in intensity. So for all of you that live in Kansas and St. Louis, just know that be prepared, because there's more storms like that coming for you. They're referencing that it's going to be like, yeah, it's not necessarily the number of storms that's the problem. It's the intensity of the storms that we have with the number of storms that we have. Even if we have our normal number of thunderstorms and hurricanes and everything else that happens every year, if the intensity of the water and everything that increases during the storms, that's where the problems lie. And I'm hearing that's what's inevitably going to happen. On a weirder note, as many of you know, I'm a huge Dance Moms fan. If you don't know, surprise, I'm a huge Dance Moms fan. And when it comes to the girls on Dance Moms, I don't necessarily take things personally, but I do kind of keep an eye out on things, almost like a concerned older sister, I guess is the best way to put it. And in early January, I made predictions about JoJo Siwa and the fact that I love her to death, but I saw her as a out of control train running down a track about to hit a wall. I believe she has massively hit that wall, guys. There's been a lot of speculation in regards to JoJo's new relationship fling, especially with the fact that she was on the Big Brother, I believe it was, episode. However, I have to put my opinion out there because of this. I don't know if JoJo Siwa was like, I wonder if JoJo Siwa is doing this for PR, or if this is actually her realizing that she really didn't have any clue who she was and needed to change gears to find herself. When I said that she needed to find herself, is this what I meant? For her to like completely sidetrack her entire sexuality and go off the rails? And no. Did I expect it to happen? Yes. Happen the way it happened? No. There's just, I have a lot that I want to say that I'm keeping myself from saying because we're on a live, but I'm just going to put it this way. If JoJo Siwa doesn't change course of where she's going now, because before she changed course, she was going to hit a wall. Now, but the thing is before, when she hit the wall, she actually had a career to recoup afterwards that she could continue. The track she's on now, I don't even see a future. I don't even see a recouping of any career. I actually see every single dollar that she ever makes in the future completely disappearing in thin air. Like, I'm actually worried about her financial standing in regards to this shift, because from what I can see, this shift might be the karmic change, where she's made so much money the past couple years, kind of putting up a front about who she was, that she might have to pay retribution. And you don't want to pay retribution to karmic energy. Not good. So I'm hoping that I'm seeing this wrong, but I'm really hoping that this doesn't strike the end of JoJo's career. Honestly, this entire situation that's going on with her new boyfriend and whatever else whatever this PR stunt, if it's not a PR stunt, whatever this is that she's doing, like, I hope that she really takes a step back and reassesses exactly what she's doing. If she was smart, she'd be single for like the next 3 years and actually find herself. But if she continues in the relationship that she's continued in, it's going to go, she's not going to have a career by the end of the year. As if there hasn't been enough storms here in the States this year. And I know everybody's instant remark is, oh, climate change. Truthfully, guys, it has nothing to do with climate change. When you look at this is actually just Earth. We've been in a very calm period or time for Mother Nature. If you actually look at the overall history of Mother Nature, her climate change has been so extreme in her lifetime that we are actually considered in a very docile period of time. Maybe it's during these docile periods of time that life flourishes, then Mother Nature throws a fit, and we wonder why there's, archaeological evidence for us to dig up. I was actually having a conversation earlier today with my angels about how would we actually know if they say in 3 or 4 million years, if our population, say worse comes to worse and we all like reduce our numbers because of war. They said in 3 million years, there would be absolutely no evidence that there was any sort of civilization here. So who's to say that there wasn't a population that existed before the dinosaurs that actually, I don't know, did what we did with the dire wolf and decided to play genome and God and recreated, and the dinosaurs wiped them out. I mean, and then Mother Nature wiped out, and then how do we know? How do you know? Because the truth is when it comes to time and how much the Earth changes on a geological level, there could have been a civilization that was space traveling 100 million years ago on this very planet, and the truth is we would have no clue. There would be no evidence of it. So it just makes you think. It makes you wonder, like, how do we know there wasn't already a civilization that grew to the point where they became space travelers and left, and Mother Nature just erased their tracks? How do you know it's not, just recycled into the depths of Mother Nature and now comes up as spewing lava in Kilauea? How do you know? Truthfully. So that's my little ramble for that. We're going to go into another 20-minute sprint, and we're going to end up going over time, but that's okay. So we're going to jump into another little 20-minute sprint. And then when we get back, we do our celebration, cheers, support, whatever words we're going to get. Words are hard. They're not coming out of my mouth as clearly as I want them to right now. So I will see you all in 20 minutes. All right. In 3, 2, wait, I have to, do things first before we can do that. Okay. So, and we got the toddler down. I think that's the fastest you've ever gotten them down, truthfully. All right, so 3, 2, 1, and sprint. And gentlemen, boys and girls, writers and weirdos of all kind, remember to stretch. Because yes, we have hit the 2-hour mark. And if you've been sitting here working and listening to me, it has been 2 hours since you stretched. So get those hands up, do that little stretch and save that us writers do because we always forget. Oh, and hear everything crack and break and everything else. Cause yeah, we're that old. So I went and got a little piece of cake because we have some pineapple upside down cake that is super yummy that I had to go grab. So I wasn't working for that whole 20 minutes. However, my word count was 37 items. So I did get quite a few done. Not as much as on my biggest sprint, but you know, it is what it is. So, but that is the end of our writing sprints, you guys, for our Manic Mondays. First of all, I want to say thank you to everybody who has come in and said hi and joined in the chats and the conversations. I really do appreciate it. It does help out the channel and it helps me chit chat so I don't feel like I'm just, you know, talking to myself in a camera, even though I talk to myself in the mirror all the time. Guys, there's only so much I can talk to myself before I literally start going insane. So thank you for being here. Please remember to like and subscribe if you haven't already. The more you like, the more you thumbs up, the more it pushes out the channel to other author tubers who are authors that could use the writing sprints. And just remember, we've got Psychic Fridays on Fridays for any of you out there that have a question. If you want to become a client of mine and get your questions in for Friday, the information is in my bio below. KibbyRoseland@gmail.com is the email. Send or find me on Facebook, social medias. Just put something in the messages saying I would like a client reading or something, so I don't think that you're, you know, just some person hitting on me. Anyway, on that note, go ahead and grab your glass because we're going to close out our stream the way we usually do with our end of stream cheers. So may your angels be strong, may your energies be positive, and may karma be ever in your favor. And I will see you all on Wednesday. Until then, bye.